So Tamara, can you tell us how important gender diversity is for future development based on technology and for tech products and services we all use? If this diversity actually prevents tech biases, and what do you in Microsoft Development Center do in this field?
Hi everyone. Thank you for having us. Well, the question is, I would even say it's a rhetorical one, given that we are all gathered here and we all think that this is an important topic. So I really like the title of this session, and whether what we need to do in order to reduce bias. And from Microsoft's standpoint, I would just like to say that we have a very bold and ambitious mission, saying we want to empower every single person in the world to achieve more. And diversity is integral part of that, because how can you even think about doing it if you don't have the world represent within your own team? Because when teams create products, everybody should think from their own perspective, and in order to have all the perspectives that matter, you really need to have diverse thinking. And diversity is so much more than gender diversity. But the topic here is gender diversity, so let's stick to that. But to answer your question, it's not that it's important; it's crucial and integral part of removing biases.
So McKinsey report is also showing that globally between 40 and 160 million women will need to transition between occupations till 2030 in order to be better paid and to do more productive jobs. Otherwise, they will be left behind. So I would like to ask you, what skills for the future will especially women need in order to be able to work on the future development based on technologies?
Thank you for the question, but I'm not going to answer it the way it was asked. It's kind of the skills that will be needed, and none of us really have the answer, like what are the future jobs. We can only guess and make estimates based on the data that we have now. But the question, like what will women need in specific, I don't really like it, because it's the skills that will be needed, that both men, women, or anybody with any type of background will need to upskill in order to be able to perform the future jobs. So I would like to rephrase it to what will be the needed skills that our kids will need to learn and to educate themselves on in order to be, once they are in the labor market, competitive. I would not like to make this distinction, like what will women need. What we can talk about is what they need now in the current setup that we know, and what we are doing to support them. And I would just like to say +1 on what Valentina was saying. Having role models is crucial, and seeing is believing, because if you don't see the women in not only leadership position, but any industry that you would call normally a male industry, if they don't see the role models, they cannot even start thinking about it or dreaming about it. And this is the world that I want for my kids, and I have 2 boys. So I would like us to be in an environment where we don't ask the question, what will women need, but what will be needed, what they will all need to be fully equipped for the future. I don't know if that answers the question, but given the topic, I really wanted to provide this perspective as well.
Yeah, thank you. But can you maybe just explain what are those skills all we need to have for the future?
Well, I think that what happened to all of us in the COVID is that what we once knew as reality no longer exists. So I think that the key, and I will speak here for Microsoft, the key for us is to empowering the managers, because this is where the real work is. Now with all the flexibility, yes, you do have flexibility. You don't have to go to work. On the other hand, you don't make real connections with people in person, and those are those subtle things that are not maybe visible now but will be visible in the future. So having a effective team that have inclusive culture is a big burden on the manager. So what we are focusing for the future now even more than before is equipping the managers with the skill set to work in this new, what we call the hybrid workplace, where the flexibility is there, but there's also, I would say, additional responsibility, because you still need effective, good teams to deliver the products. So I think for us, that is the focus area, equipping the managers and double clicking on the framework that we have for managers, which is to model, to coach, and to care for their employees, and to double click on the care part. Because as said, the flexibility is great. On the other hand, it's even more difficult to connect with people. I mean, look at our panel. I would really love to be able to greet you all in person. And I'm sure I would, seeing the audience, I would even know if what I'm saying is making sense to them or not. But right now, I don't. I can only see Valentina and Rosanda and can guess whether this, makes sense. So this is the real challenge for the future. And COVID just showed us how perspective can be changed. And yes, we can work from home, that's for sure, but the collateral on that is still to be assessed. So for us, the key is to equip the managers, because they are the ones really holding the fort for the effective and good teams, because that's still what we need and what we'll be needing in the future.
The last question, considering the future again, and there is a number of researches justifying that balanced teams are more creative, innovative, and productive, and you also mentioned that in your first answer. And how this balance is important in creating more ethic and human future, tailored for the needs of all of us.
It's crucial. Again, we did touch on that at the beginning. In order to have the best solution, you need to take into account all the perspectives, and in order to do that, you need to have diverse teams. And the challenge for us here, and let's talk local for a minute. Given that we are in IT industry, in tech industry, there is still this disparity between men and women in terms of numbers. So I would just like to reach out to the audience, even though I cannot see them, as this is the Women Leadership Summit, and to say, you are in high demand, you choose. So this is in a way great times for women, especially when we talk about tech industry, because we want you all, because we want diverse teams, and when it comes to our local market, this is really focused on gender diversity. And what we aim when we look at numbers is we constantly are watching out for the numbers of women that we have versus the number of women that are graduating from the relevant schools in Serbia. So that's what we do. And this journey for us started 7 or 8 years ago, when we looked at this disparity, let's say, and then we wanted to see why is that happening. So we initiated the community outreach towards female STEM students, to invite them and to talk to them, and then also to learn from them why they're not interested, or maybe they are, but they're not applying, or they're not applying to Microsoft, but they are to other companies. We just were in the search for answers. And the answers we got back then, and we do this every year, and we do it more and more. So some of these do tackle very basic human challenges, and these are the self-confidence. These are being too harsh on oneself, whether I am good enough even to apply, meaning they would judge themselves even before they allow others to pass a decision on whether they should be hired or not. So for us, these events that we do is basically they're focused on encouraging women to pursue career in IT, not Microsoft in specific. Great if they join Microsoft, but if we are not the good fit, maybe there are other tech companies, and we do have them. We have great tech companies in Serbia that may be fit for them, because reasons like I'm not good enough or I don't have enough confidence to apply, these are the ones that we don't want to have those. You can have all sorts of reasons why you don't want to apply, and that's valid completely. But these, the ones that I mentioned, are the ones that we should talk about, and in a way not have them anymore. But in order to do that, we need to have very open conversations about it, and that's what we do. That is our one of our tools. That's how we strive to have, in the end, to go back to your question, to have the diverse teams. And diverse teams do imply also inclusive culture, and that's what we also tackled. So that's the end goal.